Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have 10 great tips that you need to know before you hop on the MSC Seascape. And we're gonna jump right in here with the first one, which is...
The first one is definitely download the app before you get on the ship and familiarize yourself with that and use it, because there's a lot of tidbits in there that you're not gonna get just in the little daily flyer pamphlet they hand out. So for instance, you can look ahead on the menus and see the menu for the next 5 or 6 nights, find out what's going to be at dinner, and help you plan out when you may want to go do something else or not go to the specialty restaurant versus the main dining room. The other thing about the app is that you'll be able to look ahead and see not only what show is tonight, but what shows are coming up in the future, to kind of plan your whole week out, which is really useful. One thing we noticed was in the little paper they give you, they just kind of listed the name of the performer. And I was like, well, what is this person doing?
What are they going to do?
What are they going to do for us? And it turned out they were singing. And then the next night was going to be a magician, the next night a ventriloquist. But we couldn't find that out unless we looked inside the app. So definitely do that. The app is very useful. Have that downloaded before you get on board.
Yeah, it'll be a lot faster if you download it before you get on here. It's a little slower when you get on here. All right, next thing is they have new elevators on here that we've not seen on any other cruise ship yet, and it's a little bit different system than you're used to. If you just walk into an elevator, you think you can just hit a button inside and go to where you want to go, but you cannot, because there are no numbers when you get inside the elevator. You have to hit where you want to go outside the elevator. There's a little touch screen panel, and if it's dark when you walk up and it senses you, it'll turn on automatically. You'll see all the numbers that are available for the set of elevators that you're at, and then you hit the number that you want to go to, and it will tell you which elevator to go stand at. Of the 4 or 2 or however many, it will tell you which one to go stand at, and it will also show you at the top of the screen how long before the elevator arrives.
Yeah, so you may see people, like, when you're on there, people will just get on with you, and then,
and say, are you going up? And then you say yes, and then they go with you.
Unfortunately, they can't get off anywhere except for where you're getting off, so...
That's happened several times.
Yeah, it's kind of comical the first few days, but if you know that ahead of time, you'll be able to help yourself and maybe warn other people not to just get on the elevator. The jury is still out on whether this actually...
Whether we like the system or not.
Whether it's helpful or not. So far, there's been a lot of confusion.
A lot of confusion.
By a lot of people. But it's definitely innovative and interesting. First innovation I've seen in elevators in my entire life.
Yeah. So. And it does seem a little tricky once, like if an elevator is really full. We saw this last night on the way down to dinner. The elevator is really full. Then you basically have to go back to the top of the queue then, right? Because you have to hit the button again. If you can't get on that elevator, you have to hit it again and wait again for another one to come to go where you're going. So could be a little tricky during busy times.
Next tip is that the specialty dining packages are not really as good of a value as the a la carte packages. And the reason for that is you don't get everything included when you buy the package. So you can't... It's not like NCL or other ships where you go to a specialty dining restaurant and you can just basically get anything you want off the menu. This is very specifically one appetizer, one steak, one dessert, or whatever type of restaurant you're at. And if you want something additional, you do have to pay for it on top of it. So the package prices are starting at $50 per restaurant. So you could walk out of there with an $80 per person bill if you want either a better cut of steak or a few appetizers to go with it. And we found that usually when we go to a specialty restaurant, we're eating so much food that it's almost uncomfortable. That we decided the better thing to do is, if we're going to go, is just go and maybe split one steak, order a couple of side dishes, which are actually pretty cheap here, and you'd come out way cheaper than buying 2 packages. And since you can't take the food home, you don't really need
Right.
extra food anyway. So
you don't want extras.
yeah,
You don't
maybe,
want leftovers.
Yeah, maybe look into the a la carte instead of the specialty dining.
Yeah, because it's too much food otherwise. The other one is, the next one is a thermal suite is worth it. If you're going to be on here for the week, you're better off just going ahead and buying the package ahead of time and using that. It's such a great space. It's so peaceful. It's so relaxing, and it's really one of the best thermal suites that I think we've ever had on any cruise ship. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So make sure you're on the lookout for the specials for that. They also do specials during the cruise as well, like buy one, get one free, day pass, or things like that. So be on the lookout for those in the daily program. If you don't feel like you're going to get a lot of use out of a whole week, then at least try it out, because you will definitely be happy that you did.
Yeah. Next tip is the internet. You cannot switch devices on whatever package you're on. So, for instance, if you buy the internet package with 2 devices, which is what we did, and you both sign up with your phone, you cannot turn it off the phone and put it on your computer or your tablet. Each thing you activate needs a new package, which is very unlike many other cruise ships. So what we did was we put it on both of our phones, and we are each using a hotspot from our phone to get our computer on, and that is working. Now, one thing to mention is some other passengers that we ran into could not get their hotspot on their phone to work. And the difference between us and them was we do not currently have a US SIM card in our phone, so we are not putting our phone in airplane mode, because we have Turkish SIM cards in our phones right now, and it doesn't matter because
No charges.
They're not going to charge us if we're roaming or something, because the SIM cards don't even work where we are. So we don't have airplane mode on, and our hotspots are working. Other passengers with US SIM cards are turning airplane mode on, and they're finding that their hotspots are not working. So that may vary. I'm sure that's different phone to phone, carrier to carrier, whatever it is. But if you can't get your hotspot to work, that may be the reason, so look into that. Now, the other thing about the internet is it's surprisingly fast. We bought the lowest of the 2 packages. We bought the just the connection. The connection,
not the streaming.
Yeah, and there's one that's higher. You pay more for the streaming, but we're watching YouTube videos, and we're uploading all of our YouTube videos just on the base package while we're at sea. So it's been pretty fast. I think I measured it at about 4 megabits per second download and 2 megabits per second upload. And so, yeah, we're uploading all these videos with through a hotspot with a VPN on. So it's like the worst possible thing you could do, and they're still going up.
And they're still going up.
So it's surprisingly good. It's surprisingly good internet. You just can't switch devices, which is one downer.
Yes. All right. Next set is, I should have mentioned along these lines earlier in the elevator, is so the middle set of elevators are going to take the longest to use. We've stood there for almost 2 minutes one time, which is a long time for an elevator. Those stay pretty busy most of the time. The best thing to do is either use the forward or the back. We're just a few steps away from the one in the back, and there's a gorgeous view out the back of the ship because there's glass all up and down the back of it. So not only is it a beautiful view, now granted you can't go to every single floor that you want to by using the back ones, but you're gonna find that there's not gonna be busy back there. They literally come in, at the most we've waited is like 20 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really fast.
And that is something to note, that if you're in the back of the ship, you will have to walk forward to go down for dinner, because the elevators don't go down, because the restaurants are there. They don't go down past the elevators. So you have to go forward to do that. Now, the best elevators, I think, are the front ones. They're the only ones
all the way forward.
that go all the way up and down and are empty. So if you have a room up front, you're also going to not have probably as much shaking. If I had it to do over again, I would get a room up front. But then again, we got the room category where we couldn't pick a room, so it wouldn't matter anyway. But if I was picking, I would pick a room high as possible and up front. So that's just something to keep in mind. Another tip we have is that if you don't like your table at dinner, which we did not our first night, you can go see the maitre d' either on the first day or the second day. They are just usually sitting in deck 5 or deck 6 in one of the restaurants. Just walk in, tell them I'd like to switch my table for whatever reason, and they will be happy to do it. They put us in a table. We wanted to have a little bit more private table, and that's what most people were asking for, because a lot of the tables are like, yeah, they're table for 2, but they're literally like 1 inch.
You couldn't slide 2 fingers in between the tables.
Yeah.
That's how close together they were, because I tried it. I wanted to see how far apart they are. And they were literally, so you're just sitting with whoever is next to you, and that's all well and good, but we just thought dinner time is kind of a nice time for us to just unwind and just talk about our day, and we like it to be a little bit more private time for us. So it was really nice, and they accommodated us. And not only that, that same night the maitre d' came over and checked with us and said, is this okay, you know, do you like this, is this working? And it was perfect. So that was great, and they were very helpful,
which was surprising because there was a lot of people switching tables. So it wasn't just us.
So
yeah, definitely if you want to do that, check into it. Another one is to check and see if you have a free water package. We got a free water package, and we had no idea why, but it's on our card, and it's on our app.
In the app you can see it.
Yeah, and it just says free water. And basically it means they give you a free water bottle every night at dinner, and you can drink it there or take it back to the room, and that's kind of nice.
And you can pick one up at a number of bars throughout the ship. Not all of them. You also cannot use that in the specialty restaurants.
Right. Another tip is that the TVs here are really nice. We have the TV going right now. We have the World Cup on it, which is the same thing at the sports bar. But the nice thing about it is the HDMI ports are open, so there's not like some blocking thing on them like most cruise ships or a hotel. You can hook up whatever you want to it. You can hook up an Xbox, a Switch, a PlayStation, and it actually works. A lot of cruise ships, hotels, you hook something up, you can actually get the TV to go to that input. But with this one, like I have the remote right here, it's just a normal Samsung remote, and this is the source button right here. Just hit that. You can go to, first thing it'll take you to is screen mirroring, which we haven't tried, but you could mirror your screen from your phone or your tablet. And then the second thing is the HDMI port, and it's perfect. So this is just like a standard Samsung TV that you would have in your home, as opposed to one of those ones in a hotel that is rigged for you to not be able to use it. Which
they don't want you to plug stuff
are terrible,
and so, some of the older cruise ships are not set up that way either, because the TVs are encased in something, so you can't even access, you know, to attach anything to it.
So that is great.
Yeah, and the last tip is that, again, if you don't buy the specialty package, there is an option still to be able to go to them with a discount. So they do offer, if you keep an eye on the daily program, because each day they'll offer not just drink specials, but they'll also offer actual discounts at the restaurants, right?
So, yeah, so yesterday they did a 20% off all a la carte for the specialty restaurants. So if you took the advice we had earlier, which was that the a la carte was going to be cheaper, now you're getting an additional 20% off of that on some days. It really is the best deal. And then, so for today, the special is at the sushi restaurant. They're doing an all-you-can-eat for 45 minutes. So that's kind of an interesting one. It's $33, I think, for 45 minutes, all-you-can-eat sushi. And you know, so just decide, but keep an eye on those, because that's why we don't really recommend getting the package, because there's a lot of different ways you can do the specialty restaurants, and the dining room food is just good enough that you won't need to do a ton of them, likely. Yeah.
Well, hopefully these 10 tips will help you out as you prepare to hop on the MSC Seascape. If you have any other questions about any of these tips, leave us some comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give us a like on this video. We'll see you guys on the next one.